Welcome to Divine Honey Podcast. I'm your host, your friend, Tamika Johnson.
And I'm your other host, your friend, Tim Johnson.
If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. The show is about human experiences. This includes thought provoking conversations and, of course, our Divine Honey guest coming on to share stories about life, love, journey, and purpose. If you're watching live or on the replay and you feel inspired, leave something in the chat. Your comments are more than welcome. This is your inspirational podcast. Hey, everybody, how are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. How you?
I'm doing good. Thank you, brother. Today, I'm wearing my foreign gent. I want to shout out foreign gents. I'll
Shout out
put,
Reno, shout out Reno Haywood.
yes, we'll put his stuff in the comments and you can get one of his t-shirts and gentleman wear hats. What else does he have, Tim?
He got hats, tees. He does cowboy boots, advice, life advice, fatherhood advice, whatever you need. He got so he can figure it out how to get it to you.
Yes, check him out. So we'll drop his info in the comment section. And today, for our guest, I want to introduce our reoccurring guest from last week, Demetrius Hood, and Bridget Giles, who's been on plenty of times, and also you see her chatting away in the comments. So we had to bring her on as well because her and Demetrius actually started this conversation amongst themselves about should a man assume the role of a husband before making her a wife. So this week we're going to be talking about women preparing for marriage. So I thought it was befitting to just have them both come on. Before we get right to it, I took a poll. So Tim took a poll on his Instagram, and I took a poll on my Instagram, and it was a man seeking a wife, should he assume the role of a husband? On one page, and I think it was mine, 75% said yes, 25% said no. On Tim's page, 60% said yes, 40% said no. Demetrius, I want to start with you. Wait. I want to ask Tim a question. What was your answer? Let's start there. You never really said where you stood.
Oh, I guess I don't know. I mean, I would say because of so many influences, truly. So like if we were to take this probably like 10 years ago, I would say that most men would come into a situation after they kind of went through that, immature phase when they were ready to become a husband. I would say now in today's era, and I would say the influences being social media, music, friendships, because Bree's mom always, I think it was Bree's mom, she said that, when you're in your relationship, you keep your relationship between the two of you and you don't involve other people in your relationship. So now I would say it's because of that, the nuance of that's not happening as much as it used to. And honestly, I don't know how much it did happen for, because I've only been married for 5 years, but I think that it's hard to take on that role and assume that role, because as a man going into the relationship, and we spoke about this last week, we don't know what we're actually going to get in a partner anymore, to be honest. And I think that's a tough situation to be in. So I didn't really answer the question because I don't know.
That's fair. Demetrius, what do you think about these results?
I would like to know the gender. Like how many of them were women and how many of them were male with those answers, to tell you the truth. That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
We could do another poll and only ask for men to answer.
But that's hard to do because we can't filter the Instagram post to like only allow men to.
Oh, true, because they can still answer.
They can still answer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it would just be, that would just be something to add on there to be like, I wonder, dudes like, nah, I ain't paying for nothing, or I don't know. I really don't know what the majority would do, but it seems like based off of the polls, um, more people agree with me than agree with Bridget. That's basically what that's.
Well,
Pew pew pew.
you know
I
what?
mean, I'm just.
We messed up. You technically can see the votes. So that is true. So who it was, and I didn't look at that part. So that's my.
Oh yeah. So we
You
okay
can, you can. And Bridget,
because
what are your thoughts on the results?
So I think it's based on the fact of we didn't put a definition of what a role of a husband looks like either. And that is based on people's belief systems. If they had a father or in their house growing up that was a husband, if men even had other men in their lives that were husbands. I mean, so it's almost an unfair question to ask because you can't have enough context in there to really say if it was really a true answer, and because it's based off of all those contingencies,
That's real.
That's real.
And so when Demetrius and I originally started talking about this, my stance was you should be standing in the position of a husband, ready to assume that. However, the person that you are courting, let's just say, or dating, whatever word you want to use, should not reap the benefits of that necessarily. They should be able to see that you are walking in that and what you have available, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they get to move in your house and live with you while you pay all their bills. A lot of us, we're jumping the gun. We're like, and then it goes back to that old saying, why pay for the milk when you can get the cow for free? And I know that that's a horrible saying, but people are doing that for 10 years and women are still waiting for rings. And then they leave after they finally get tired. And the next woman reaps the benefits because she groomed this man to what she wanted in a husband. The next woman actually comes in and he wants to wife her. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So in a situation like that, couldn't the woman propose to the man if they are ready to take it there?
We have talked about this too. My stance is no. A couple reasons why. I feel like that's always been the standard. Like, right? It's a man who finds a wife who finds a good thing. He should be asking. He should be the one pursuing, in my opinion. I feel like if I have to ask, number one, I feel like I'm demasculating you. Number one. Number two, like, I'm never going to put myself out there to do that. It's just not who I am. Like, if you want me, pursue me, come get me. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like that role reversal is wrong. For people that do it and you're fine with it and your spouse is fine with it, that's cool for you. But for me, I would never flip the script.
Do you guys see how I did the title a little differently because I'm with Bridget on that? A man who finds a wife finds a good thing. So I'm not going to put the title, A Woman Seeking a Husband. So that's intentional. That was intentional of me creating the title, Women Preparing for Marriage, because I do believe in some gender roles for sure. And that has been the standard. And I think the man should lead in that manner, because if he does not, in a lot of cases, I don't, demasculating, things are out of order. So I think in that area, a man should definitely lead. But a woman has a decision of what the expectations, there's a conversation about those expectations and communication. And if it doesn't align, you can take it or leave it.
Well, and if you go to biblically speaking, so Adam was in the garden, right? So, and I know that all people don't believe this, but I do. Adam came first. She was pulled out of Adam. So right order Adam would be first and then her. So for me, I would be completely out of order to ask, if I was Eve, Adam to marry me. You know what I mean? In that situation, like, he should be in the leadership. He had more knowledge. He had more time with God. So it's his role to take, in my opinion.
That would be our last date. That would be, yeah. If she asked me to marry her, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, let's let me take you back home. You have a nice life, you know.
But
I mean, there's so much. Huh?
It's been 10 years y'all been together. Is what
Man,
it don't matter.
which makes it even worse, because that tells me after 10 years you didn't know that I wouldn't want you to ask me to marry you. And then if I didn't waited 10 years, me, there's something definitely going on that's wrong.
Mhm.
But yeah, I once again, like, because remember, once again, I make it very upfront when I say, when I'm dating somebody for a purpose. You know, so if I'm looking for marriage, and then for yeah, I just couldn't see that wrong. I would, if she did that, I definitely know that she does not know me.
Right on.
She doesn't know me. So there's 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 definitely something there. I need to go searching somewhere else.
So back
How
to
about you, Tim?
what's that?
If it was Bree, and I know Bree's awesome, but if she would have proposed to you before you proposed to her, and I granted that wasn't 10 years later, how would you have felt?
I mean, it probably would have caught me off guard because I had to be ready. I needed to be ready first. But those are conversations that got to be had, and we had it, and that's just what it was. I was just saying because, like, I think in the mindset of being together for 10 years, to me, it almost sounds like waste. Because within that, so much stuff could have been built. I'm guessing kids are somewhere involved, intertwined in that 10-year relationship, but neither one of you guys are willing to take it to the next level. So we're just like sitting and wasting. Because we did talk about benefits of marriage last week, and there's a lot of benefits that come with that. But it seems as though you're just getting all those things without signing like the licensure.
Yeah.
Without the commitment, you're really not committing. And I'm not saying that there's not defaults for men, but like as a woman to invest 10 years, that is like the only way that would even make sense is maybe you guys were in middle school together and y'all been dating that long. You know what I mean? And now you're just, okay, cool. That's a little different story. But as a woman, like the time wasted, men have a lot longer to like have kids. Women don't. There the securities that you lose as not being a wife, your boyfriend dies or gets put on life support. You have, like, if the family comes in and makes a choice, you're just stuck with that choice. You might lose your house, you might not get like the insurance. Like there is so much involved with that. And does that kind of go back to our society and how, women's rights didn't come along, until recently? Absolutely. But I feel like it's very unfair to a woman. And then the next question is whose fault is it when you get that far down? And like, as women, I feel, this is just my opinion and women might come for me for this, we have to protect ourselves and we have to stop putting ourselves in positions where we get 5, 10, 15 years down the road and don't make him make a commitment. You know what I mean? So for my husband, when we first started dating, and this is not for everybody, and I realize that, it got brought up in church that, we were living in sin. Not that we got talked to or, told to come up to the front of the church, but it was talked about. And so I literally looked at my husband. I said, I'm not going to sin with you anymore. So you either need to decide, do you want to put a ring on it or do you want to move on? But that was where we were at in our relationship, because we were, doing the horizontal all the time. We were staying at each other's houses. The kids were hanging out with each other. And because of where I was at in my walk with Christ, I did not want to go to church and feel like that. You know what I mean? And not that condemnation came from him, but I wanted more. I wanted better. And so I demanded it. And I didn't do it in a mean way. I just said, hey, this is where I'm at. I know that I'm willing to marry you if you were to ask, but it's time for you to make a decision. And he did.
And what was that mark at? That year mark, or how long was that at?
We were about 6 months in. And what I didn't know is, he had already had the conversation with his mom talking about he wanted to get married and stuff. And he had already had like a ring on layaway. That was when you could put rings on layaway, And so we were already, I guess he was already headed that direction in his mind as well. So it worked out for us.
I have a question. So what about people who don't want to get married?
And that's what I was alluding to when you had asked me about that poll, because truly, like today, I think it becomes a challenge because there's so many people in the relationship. Because when you think of like what that covenant is supposed to be, it's you and your partner. That's it, right? That create your own, do your own thing. And now it appears that everybody's stuff is out there for everybody to be a part of. And until like someone is, and it, like Bridget brought up the point of like it being role model to you as a young person, you're able to experience and see what it's supposed to look like. And then you try to go out in there and create that yourself. When you don't have those building blocks, it leaves holes for your stuff to get, poked in and fall apart. So that's why it's like, it's scary now. If I kind of like all the homies, I think I'm in a pretty cool situation where all my homies are married. I think I only got two single friends, 3 single friends, but most of all, everybody's married and on their way to, trying to start their family and do their thing, which has been pretty cool. But a lot of us, like on my side, like we didn't have men to look up to understand what a marriage looks like. I think two of the guys that I talk to consistently have had both their parents in the household. Everybody else was a single parent household, but we're all married men now, which is pretty dope.
I think one of the big questions is, like we had asked before, maybe a lot of people don't know what are the benefits of being married. You hear, oh, marriage is just a piece of paper. No, marriage is what you make of it. One thing that I said, I was like, taxes. That was the first thing that I said, benefits of that, which is very true. And I don't think people even know that, you know what I mean? Right. That part is, because that's part of it. Financial is one of the things about marriage itself. Some of the biggest, what are the big 3 of divorces is financial, sex, and communication. Those are the top 3 things of why people do get divorced. So the financial benefits of being married absolutely should be something that you should look at when you're talking about marriage. So
I think you also got a travel person, someone to always travel with. Like we like to go on vacation, travel all the time. You got someone to always eat with.
Yep.
The small things, you know what I'm saying? Meals are important. Someone you're going to retire with.
Yep.
You feel me? A career cheerleader. So always someone on your side to help you support you with your goals and your dreams. And then someone you got to listen to about their day all the time.
Yes.
So communication piece. Companionship. Yep, you got it all the time.
But there's a difference between companionship and like a dog can be a companion, and that's totally different. You know what I mean? But a spouse is even more so. Like they talk back, they give insight, they give wisdom. So there's a little bit of a difference. And I'm curious, Tim. I looked like you was reading off your phone. Did your other half assist with that? Did she throw in some wisdom?
No, this is.
Just your notes? Okay, just checking, because Bree be bringing that insight sometimes. I'll just check if she was assisting there.
No, she'll say it in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, say it in the chat. But
you guys had brought up something else in that too. So it goes back to our belief systems and what we were taught and what we do. So I think another hard thing that we bring into a lot of relationships is if we did it God's way, the design, like one spouse, one person you've ever had sex with, you don't have those comparisons. You don't have those soul ties that you're bringing into this relationship. If I was only one with one man, I have nothing to compare him to. Right. I don't have to compare him to Henry, who may have had a big package, or and even with the good things, let's talk about the bad things. I didn't bring in the abuse from my second relationship from John. I didn't bring in the bad communication I had with Keith. You know what I mean? Like all these different things that you're bringing into the relationship, but you didn't take time to heal from.
Right.
I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that what marriage looks like. Do I really want a marriage because I put myself through so much trauma, or people have hurt me along the way, or I've seen other people get hurt, and now marriage is a bad thing when it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Have you guys heard of, there was this thing on TikTok, do I choose the man or do I choose the bear?
Yes.
So
I ain't seen that.
So basically, if I was in the woods being chased, who would I want to be chased by? The man or the bear? Okay, a lot of women will say the bear. I would say the bear, and this is why. Bear, there's tactics for me to get away from the bear. But when a man, the suggestion is like a man chasing you, they can talk to you. There's abuse, there's this, there's that. And so the conflict we have between man and woman, single women are saying, I'd rather just be alone. Because we're told to do all these things, reflect, work on yourself, do this, do that. And we're still not getting quality like spouses or.
Oh, so it's in a negative sense.
Yes, like it's in a negative sense.
I was trying to figure out, so is the man trying to kill you? Or
yeah. The bear and the man are trying to kill you. Who would you rather come after you? The bear or the man?
Yeah. I was like, what?
People say, I choose the bear each time because what Tim was talking about, the social media influence, those red pill podcasts where I think those type of men are men that need healing. They literally, they don't like women. But this has been kind of, it's filtered all over Facebook or TikTok. So they came up with a thing when you would show clips, a woman go, I choose the bear. So I guess enough.
Because you can convince a man, like if it's a man, I'm thinking a woman would have the ability to convince a man to not kill her before a bear.
No, this is my logic. If a man, have you ever had a man hate you before and they want to take your life? They're going to taunt you. They're going to taunt you. They're going to do all these things before they even get to you. You're going to have to beg for your life. The bear's just going to take me out. It's nothing personal if he gets to me. There's tactics to get away from a bear. You can stand still. You can maybe the bear might get distracted and go away.
Time out. Have you ever seen a bear chase a person?
Yes, I have, but this is just hypothetical.
Whoa.
But people have survived bear attacks. What are you talking about? People have done things.
You're biting. You're getting thrown up in the air.
This is before it even gets to me, Tim. Like, this is ways for me to shoo the bear off. You can shoo the bear off.
You're going to shoo a bear off.
I got a chance. Compared to a dude who wants to take my life. I got a chance.
Okay, let me. This is how you know who is answering the question, and I'm not saying this necessarily towards you, Tamika. Mm-hmm. Trauma shows in this answer. Personally, I'm gonna kill the man and the bear. Bring it. That's me. That's my answer. Mm-hmm. When a lot of women answered that question,
the question isn't that. The question's either or. That's the question.
Which one?
Either one can come at me. I'm a kill either one. I'm good with
which one you have to choose to come after you, the bear or the man. It's either or.
But also, you don't know if the man is just gonna kill you. I mean,
he's telling me he's gonna kill me. Y'all, they're gonna kill you.
So if he's telling you he's gonna kill you, where does all of this like he's gonna talk to me and he's gonna abuse me and turn me into a slave and rip my I mean, I don't. Where did that come from? Because when you say a man is chasing you and a bear is chasing you, the first thing that comes to my mind is a man chasing you with a gun. Like he gonna shoot you. Like he gonna kill you. Like you ain't. I don't think
Okay.
he.
So, question in domestic, like when it's of passion, domestic violence, of anything of passion, do they just? What does that look like?
I have no.
So
I
If
it's
don't know.
somebody
domestic.
stabs somebody 50 times, that's not a casual kill, unalive.
Yeah, that's
me.
more like a bear. If you get stabbed 50 times, that's kind of like
Okay,
how a
y'all.
bear would kill you.
Okay.
No,
But
I mean, I
go
get
ahead.
what you're saying though. Like the what you're saying in that poll or in that thing is women have been traumatized by men. And when it comes down to it, they would rather die by the hands of a bear or at least try to get away from a bear because of how many times they have been hurt
By a
Sure.
man.
by a man.
Sure.
Yes,
Boom.
I
But
just
that's
had
why
to
like
get
the
there.
questions like that don't even make sense because ain't none one of these people been chased by no bear. You probably don't want to be in the woods getting chased by a bear. Just keep it
Right.
in the band.
But really, my point is, these are the things that are being talked about on social media.
Sure.
Topics that are negatively separating us.
We got. Let me go to the chat real quick.
Okay.
So Bree's been blowing it up. Bridget's been replying back to her. So we love sharing about our day. All right. So this is where social media is filling our minds. So like if we let the toxicity of social media, i.e., let a bear chase us in the woods, that's what we're gonna get to. And then she said, I also think men have been traumatized by women, but they just don't speak about it and speak about it differently. But to that point, though, I want to because we haven't even really talked about the prep for women. So I think the topic of the podcast was what does prep look like? So what does prep look like for wanting someone to take you in and marry you?
Well, Bridget's married and I'm single.
That's why I'm trying to hear from you. We got it.
Should I go or should Bridget?
Yeah.
Go?
Yes.
Oh, we decided without even talking that this was going to be about you and yours. So come on.
Well, women, I think as just preparing for marriage, I think we have to get to know ourselves. Things that we like, that we don't like, and find some type of happiness within ourselves, right? I think communication skills, because remember, you guys, the other person is going to be different from you. You're not going to agree on everything. So working on your own personal communication skills. I also think financial preparation. I know we talk about the man being financially prepared, but I think we should have our shit in order, to be honest. It doesn't matter the amount of money, but I need to show, like what Bridget's saying, the demonstration that I'm responsible with money. Like when you come into my life, you see I can pay some bills. I pay my bills on time. My house is clean, not me cleaning your house. You see that my house is clean. You see that I take care of myself, that I care about my health. And I need to focus, being a single person, I have to focus on those things of how I want to present myself. But also I would say working on any type of unhealed trauma. I don't think a person can ever be perfect. I think sometimes there's this thing where, oh, you need to be healed. I think yes, but no one's completely there. Sometimes you need that other partner where you can grow with. But I think you have to be in a certain place, of course. But I think it's nice to the point to have a helpmate where it's not all, on you, but not where you're taking it out on them. And then I think what we're going back to getting to know yourself, you need to know your things that you like. Like you have to have hobbies and things as yourself as an individual as well. So I guess those are some things, but yeah.
What's your list look like? What is your list for what your man looks like? I want to talk about that. Let's talk about that.
What he looks like?
Like, what is your every woman usually has a list of what they're looking for in their husband. So what does your husband list look like?
I need My list is for someone I would like a kind man. I do need like a kind man. Someone who understands me, who's willing to learn to understand me, not committed to not understanding me. And
Okay, I don't want you to give all the keys to your kingdom. That's enough. See, and
Okay.
that's what women don't do, and you see a
Okay.
lot of that. Their lists, and they say, you know, I want a man that's 6'5", and he brings in good money, but we forget to tailor it to our needs and really have realistic expectations. You know, like you said, you want a man that's kind. Not all men are kind. So, you know, that's a characteristic that's a good thing to have on a list. But we have a lot of women, you know, I want a man that can, you know, fly me around the world. Well, do you realize that that man probably works all the time and is never home so that he can give you that life?
Right.
You know, but these are the lists that women have, and
Yeah.
he got to be at least 8 inches downstairs, and you know he better have good shoe game and a nice car, and they're not bringing anything to the table on their list. Let's be real. We have women that they want a laundry list of things that are unrealistic,
For
and
sure.
they don't even know how to brush their teeth.
Right. Facts.
That is true. That is true. Um. So how did you prepare, Bridget? I mean, you've been married for a long time, so you didn't really. Well, you tell it.
Okay, so for my first
preparation
marriage, I was not really a good wife. I was too young to be a good wife. Let me just say that. And I got so wrapped up in the identity of my spouse at the time and chasing after him, I didn't even know who I was. It was a very toxic relationship. It was very unhealthy. When I left that relationship, I did find some healing. I went back to church. I started figuring out who I was. I took a year off of men, period, and just focused on my daughter and tried to get myself right. And during that time, it was actually when I met my husband. And I'll be honest, I had those hard conversations with the Holy Spirit, but I wasn't trying to hear him. I don't think my husband and I were supposed to have gotten married when we did. I think we jumped it a little bit. I think we should have pulled back just because there was some things in our lives that we hadn't dealt with. We did do the premarital counseling. We did have those hard conversations, so that did help a lot. But there was a couple that we didn't really talk about. One of them was having more kids, even though it was on the premarital checklist of this long test where we answered all these questions where the red flags would kind of come up. I didn't realize he didn't want any more kids. So that was a fight. That was a kind of a struggle. And I was like, look, had I known before we said I do, I wouldn't have said I do. You know what I mean? And we were able to make that compromise because I am married to a good man. But not all marriages could handle something like that. Some people aren't willing to compromise. But for me, myself, I knew how to pay my own bills. I knew what it was like to be faithful. I knew what it was like to I actually did show him that I knew how to be a wife because he would get off work late and I'd be like, why don't you come on by? I made dinner. I showed him that I knew how to make dinner, but it wasn't my responsibility to make him dinner when he wasn't my husband. Right. I showed him that I was available, as far as, and I was healthy, and we talked about things. So those were the things that we did. I was also at that time in my church, they had this thing called Apples to Apples. And it was where older women were teaching younger women how to be wives and how to be mothers. They taught you how to cook. They taught you how to, like, cleaning tips, just things like that. And I feel like a lot of that was important. So I did know how to do those things, like how to budget and pay bills, even though in some relationships it may not fall on the wife. A wife should be able to have that conversation with her husband so she does know where the money's going. And just things like that. Those were the little things that I did as a woman to prepare. Was I 100% ready? No. Did we have some growing pains because of that? Absolutely. So I just say to anyone who's single, have those hard conversations, talk to the person, be honest, be transparent. Don't necessarily give them all the keys to, how to get to your kingdom, because like Steve Harvey said, if a man wants to know you, he'll figure it out. You shouldn't be telling him what you need. It's something that, you know, if you're really, most men are really interested in a woman, he'll take the time to get to know you. But if you're really not the one, he really won't. And that's how, you know, you can really tell if he really is interested in you. Like Demetrius said, he comes to the table, hey, I'm marriage minded. This is where I'm going. If that's not where you're headed, it's time to get off the table. You know what I mean? So those were the things that I did.
I am going to disagree with you a little bit. Reason being, you said Steve Hardy says that he's going to know. I'm going to ask questions. I'm not assuming anything. So I'm not that you should know me type situation or you should understand is not. I'm going to ask you the question. That thing got me in trouble a whole lot where I didn't thought, oh, well, she was. It's like, for instance, I mean, oh, guess what? My baby, I want to send her some flowers to work because I want her to see that I love her. She allergic to roses. She don't like roses. I assume that because, you know, she said, oh, Susie got some flowers on Tuesday and it was so cute. Nah, baby, do you like flowers? What kind of flowers do you actually like? I think that's more of trying to learn who she is than just kind of just assuming type stuff. And
But
I
that's,
mean,
you said that though, because like you're pursuing her, you asked the question, you didn't
yeah,
assume. Now, a man that's just there trying to call you after 10 o'clock for those couple hours and goes home, he ain't going to ask you those questions. He ain't going to have time to do that. And that's what he really, Steve Harvey was saying in his book. He was like, if we really want to know and we really want to know who you are, we'll take the time to invest in you to find out. But I shouldn't be telling you on date one, hey, Demetrius, I like roses, but I'm allergic to peaches. And you know what I mean? Those are not, I shouldn't have to tell you everything. You should kind of have to work for it a little bit. Just a little
yeah,
bit
I'm
to show me
going
that
for
you're
it by
interested.
asking. I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna work by asking. And I mean, and I said this in the last thing because people change through the process. So those questions are gonna come up daily. We're never gonna completely know our spouse because they're changing every day as well. We're growing together. So things that you used to like, you don't like as much. So you got to ask those questions and kind of see it. My whole thing is, like I said, the whole, oh, you should just know. I think if I'm interested in somebody, I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to ask a lot of different questions. And the reason is because I do want our relationship to be a positive, good relationship. And I do want you to be happy. So I do want to know what things you do like and what things you don't like. You know, I am observant as well, but that's even at that, sometimes you still got to ask, like, okay, how do you want me to do this? Or why does this happen type situation so that you can prepare for the next time.
Right. I think with the observation, oh, we got another, hold on. Monique, I don't think she means know as in being a mind reader, more or less making an effort to know you. This is where the conversation and questions come in. You're all on the same page.
Yeah.
I think just picking back off what you just said, Mr. Hood, about the observation, I think that helps lead to those questions just to
Yeah,
understand.
absolutely.
Oh, I see you're changing your coffee. Why did you make that switch of coffee? But now in the back of my mind, I know her coffee's changed.
Yep,
So boom,
exactly.
I can get this coffee. This is the one that she likes.
Just the one that you like. What you want me to get from Starbucks? I've been getting the same one.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, like, you didn't drink it.
Yep.
So now I'm like, oh, okay. What should I do? What's going on? So that's where the questions, yeah, absolutely. And somebody that, like you said, that's only there for the, those 30 minutes, they're not gonna ask those questions. So you're right about that, Bridget.
Yeah, something else I like as kind of getting back on the topic of like women preparing for marriage. Another thing, a lot of us trying to transition into preparing, we still have what Bridget was talking about, those old ties. And I would suggest, I would urge women not being afraid um, of letting go of old comforts, old booty calls, the what are you doing, the hey big heads.
Lord.
You really have to let that go and change your mindset. You got to be strong, because sometimes at midnight, that what are you doing? You're like, let me go to sleep, guys. It ain't nothing good after 10 p.m. You don't want nothing. Um, it's hard for some of us, easier for others. But I think that if you have that, that's really the first step. That's the first step of you standing on business.
What would be like the advice as far as letting it go? Like why, like, you know what I'm saying, if someone is out here on the brink of potentially moving into a real situation but struggling with letting go. Like I just saw this meme. It was buddy, you know, there's memes all over. You know how our algorithms work on Instagram. It's like me waiting to be with this girl that I'm really liking, I want to be serious with, but I'm waiting because her ex-boyfriend is still knocking it down. So like I just started laughing because it was funny, but like that's like real life situations though. Like you do have a potential partner that is curious, wants to pursue you, interested. You're interested too, but you won't let this other cat go to even have anything start with the new guy that you're trying to get on.
You know, the DMs is full.
DMs is full.
DMs is full.
Well, and I think that along the lines has to do with men or women understanding their worth. When you really understand that you're worth more than a 10 o'clock booty call, and that it doesn't follow the vision that you want for your life, that you want to be married, you want to have children, you want that committed relationship, and that you don't have to waste your time with that because you know you are potentially blocking those good things that are coming, whether it'll be a good woman or a good man. I think that it really starts with understanding that you are worth more. And I've said this for a long time. We as women, even as men, but for me as a woman, we have to at some point take back our power. Yes, you know, as children, you know, our belief systems were something that were taught to us. We had to deal with a lot of things. But as we become an adult, it is our responsibility for us to make those belief systems, if they don't line up anymore, they have to be gone. We have to start taking that responsibility. Yes, they hurt me, but I have to forgive them and I have to keep moving on because I can't stay in this victim role for the rest of my life. And even though people don't believe it, those soul ties are real, whether you believe it or not. You know, they're like, there is no God, but then people believe in hell and the devil. Well, okay, just because you can't see the wind does not mean that it is not there. When we lay down with somebody, we are giving parts of ourselves away to these people. And we need to literally sit down and renounce those. And if you want more information about it, what is it? Michael Todd, he did a whole thing about relationship goals. He talks about it. My pastor was talking about it today, where he was coaching a marriage and the wife was like, you know, I don't feel like I have 100% of my husband's heart. And so they started asking those hard questions. Well, he had been in relationships sexually with women prior. And my pastor walked him through, you know, close your eyes and pretend like you're with that woman and see Jesus entering the equation, giving you back your heart, giving her back her heart, and him being in between and covering it with the blood, and forgive each other and move on. And after he actually did that exercise with every single woman that he had slept with, his relationship with his wife got better. And I'm not saying that's always the case of, you know, where you're having marriage issues, but if you don't let those things go and those comparisons go, you're never going to be your whole self for the next person.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But you know, that's also medically correct as well. Like a man that lays with a woman actually leaves a piece of him with her. Like so it ain't even on the religious part about it. It's literally we are giving ourselves, which means that she still has a piece of us, and it's an ongoing thing. I remember seeing something before. When you sleep with a woman, you're not just sleeping with her, but you also sleeping with whoever else that she's been with.
Partners. Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They found it, that DNA in their brain. Wasn't it the brain that they did? They dissected it and they found DNA from other partners in their brain of the women. And that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pop in the chat real quick. Brandy Robertson, do any of you believe that there's a time frame you should know if the other person is your husband or wife, or is your husband or wife material? Bringing up Steve Harvey again, he said a man will know in 60 days. I guess for me,
agree with that. I agree with that. I agree that you will know in 60 days. It doesn't mean you have to actually take the steps in 60 days. But I think in 60 days, if you really are pursuing someone and you're talking all the time and you're getting together and you're going on those dates, I believe you know if that, like, even as a friend,
Mm-hmm.
I know if I want to be a friend with somebody within 60 days or if, like, we're headed in two different directions.
Oh, really? 60 days. Yep. 60 days. You know, if you, yeah. You know, if you want to be friends with somebody within 60 days, that's, yeah, okay. I kind of agree with that. I think it's different for every other person because sometimes some friends you've been friends with for a long time and you question it every single day.
Yet we still friends.
I didn't say that I was talking about you, Bridget, but I was just saying that 60 days about a friend. I know that I can see a wife, but a friend and certain friends after, yeah, we'll just let that go.
I think the 60 days is tough because it just depends on what are the contact points.
Yeah.
So if there's not a lot of contact points within those 6 days, 60 days, you ain't going to be able to know. Now, if you have a lot of contact within that 60 days, you'll probably be able to figure out if we're compatible or not. For me, it was probably more so about 4 or 5 months. I was like, yeah. She ain't putting all this pressure on me to do all these crazy things and hoops to jump through, and it was just easy. When it's
okay,
just
Tim.
What's up?
But think about past girlfriends or past women that tried to be your girlfriend. Did you know that you moved past?
That thought, marriage was never in my mind.
Okay. It's
never been in my mind. Like,
so they never even made it past that point. So you probably already knew in 60 days they weren't the one because they didn't even trigger the marriage thought.
Could be shit, but I don't know. My brain was not nowhere near marriage at that. Yeah.
Okay, go Bree. You triggered it, Bree.
I had as we've all. I had a lot of.
He didn't have past women.
I had a lot of maturing to do. I had a lot of maturing to do. I didn't have any past women, none. So I just needed to focus on my sports and my studies so that I could get these degrees.
Well, I definitely, yeah.
And then we have another fact thing from Monique. Anyone who is ready will release. If they don't, they truly aren't ready for what they speak about. It says a lot about their character and what still needs to be healed.
I agree with that. Anything you want to do, you'll do it when you're ready. But it doesn't mean that, you know how you want to, you keep trying and you're failing. At least you're trying, but you're not ready until you actually can do it. So people got to remember there's a lot of trying before you actually are ready.
Yeah.
Sometimes just people wake up and just do it, but for the most part, and give yourself grace. I do want to add that, but there's a lot of trying too before you finally get to this is my last straw.
Just doing it.
You got to get sick and tired.
I think fear may play a big part of that because
100%.
People are comfortable. So when they decide, all right, this is done, I'm going to do something completely different, something abnormal than what I usually do. And that can be kind of scary, Especially if you love and love hard, you know, now what you're doing is you are putting all of your eggs in one basket. You don't have a backup plan. And when you commit like that, it can kind of be scary because, you know, if I'm about to put all these eggs in this basket and I don't know if there's a hole in this basket.
Right.
You know what I mean? I really don't know. I'm just putting all my faith into it. And that can be kind of scary because if all my eggs break, I'm gonna be starving because I don't got nothing to eat.
But you said something very important. Number one, you should be checking out your basket before you put your eggs in it. So you should be looking for that hole. And those are those red flags that we really aren't paying attention to when we're talking to somebody and dating. That's number one. Number two, if I have to have a backup plan to even enter the plan, that tells me one of two things. One, either I have some trauma and stuff that I haven't dealt with, or two, there's red flags in this situation and I'm just trying to go past them and just trying to make an attempt, which both are not the ideal situation. And you should back off and be like, hey, maybe I need to think about this one again.
And some people are comfortable. Have you heard you get comfortable with the devil, you know? Even if it's bad, I know what to expect out of this bad situation.
I know what's going to happen.
I know what's going to happen.
I know what's going to happen. I can see it.
Yep. They say that with victims of fire. You know how you see people standing out the window and the fire is right behind them? They say like 90% of the time the firefighter has to go to them because people won't jump because they're afraid of the jump and the fall, right? Knowing that the fire is going to kill them. And then the fall is just a 50-50 chance, right?
Right.
Most people will stand there and die in the fire if a firefighter does not go up and get them.
You know, I want to go back to kind of what Brandy said, because I know we talk about time frames a lot and everybody has said their time frames, but I like something Bree said in the last one, like that's a communication thing between you and the other person and what your expectations are, and everyone is different and there's no absolutes. That's this thing, there's just no absolutes. So that's why in the last one I said to Demetrius, I'm okay with kind of risking it all a little bit. Like I'll risk it all a little bit for love. It'll be scary, but you know, there's no absolutes. But we're talking about the 60 days. I'll say as a single person, I don't know. I think in 60 days, I should know if we're going to be serious.
But what does serious?
Once we get past that brief, we're not like we are exclusive. For me, in the first 3 months, because I might need to move a little slow in getting to know a person. I really need to get to know this person. And I need to understand what they're saying to me and have those conversations about expectations and really see how I move and how they move. In those, first 3 months, you might be dating other people. But I think by the time you get to the 60-day mark.
That's 2 months.
2 months. 2 months, you should know if you want to date exclusively. I would know that.
Okay, but I'm going to throw this out there. Let me throw something out there. How many, I'm not saying raise your hand or anything, but let's just say this. How many of us have went to the bar and went home and slept with somebody, but we can't make a decision on if we want to marry somebody in 60 days? Come on now. No. I mean, perspectives. I'm just saying, like, it should at least be a thought.
No, here's the thing. Me going home to sleep with somebody, that's not permanent. It's not a permanent situation.
Neither is dating somebody.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying, I think I wouldn't want to. It goes to people's experience and their own background. I wouldn't, let's say I was hanging out with a guy for 2 weeks straight. I probably wouldn't be like, oh, this is my boyfriend. I've done that before. And I didn't make good choices. So I might move a little slowly in that 2 month period of really getting to know that person and go from there. I have to be in the situation for sure, but I wouldn't move. And I know I actually would never live with a man before we were engaged. I don't need to. I can pay my own bills, and it's just that it's weird. I just wouldn't do it.
But that talks about perspective as a society. Like,
Yeah.
we're willing to spread our legs or sleep with a woman we don't know nothing about. But when we talk about commitment, everybody want to pump the brakes and need like a 6 month, 1 year time frame.
Well,
And that's kind of scary.
right. Well, I didn't say so, but in my perspective, I just said 2, and y'all looking at me crazy. Can we like date and get to know each other in 2 months? Can I process? I'm a slow processor. Let me process.
No, but I think that's a valid point though. Like it's easier to do the unknown versus something that is known right in front of you and seeing where it goes.
True. I can see that.
Sure.
And you got to think as well, when we talk about 60 days, it's almost like the mail. Because, you got, they say 5 to 10 business days and 5 to 10 days. Those are completely different days. So you may be talking to somebody that you talk to every single day, and you may be talking to somebody that you talk to 3 times a week. Those 60 days are going to be different. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you necessarily say 60 days. Like myself personally, dating somebody, I'm literally talking to them every day. Like I'm making them like my best friend.
So you got your 60 days in. So if you're really with this person, this female that you're interviewing, you're telling me in 60 days you've already had that many points of contact, like Tim said. So then, especially by 6 months, you should know
right.
if you're married. Like you went in from get-go, D. Like, hey, I want to get married. So now you what? 6 months in?
The person that I'm talking to right now, who I'm in a relationship, I definitely knows I want to get married. Definitely have talked to her. Definitely have even said, "Hey, when would you like your wedding to be?"
Okay, so you've had all those conversations. Where are you at in your relationship? What day? We 6 months in, 9 months in, 2 years, 3?
I got this Wisconsin education, so my math ain't quite right. So I don't know. I have to defer back, and
you got that light on the back of your head, like, what's up, fool?
You have to. So let me, because our relationship is different. So my next, because she probably gonna watch this too. So I'm gonna be like, so how long have we been dating? Or what was considered dating? So that's a conversation, and then I'll get back to you, and I'll let you know. But at this point in time, I know what kind. I don't even know what size ring she wear.
So it sounds like you got some work to do, big bro. Brandy,
ain't this women preparing for marriage? Ain't this
that's what I'm saying? They got flipped.
What happened?
I was trying to get us out of there real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, where? Yeah, that's what we're supposed to be talking about. This is Tamika's show.
All right, from Brandy again. If you are marriage minding, do you keep many people in your cart? In today's world, dating is crazy. Are dates and dating multiple people cheating? At what point do you start dropping the possibles?
Because I'm single and have dated, so I'll answer that one. I think you're upfront about what you're doing. It's talked about. Like, am I dating? Am I talking? I'll ask that if we not like on a first date, but let's say we really the first week we really talking and stuff. Yes, I'll ask. Oh, are you dating? Especially if I met them on a dating site. Now it's a lot of we date on a dating site, so you do ask like those things, and at a certain point, when do you drop the other ones? When there's not like a clear conversation, there's not a clear answer. It depends on the person and how you're connecting. Just because I went on 3 dates with a dude doesn't mean he's the person for me. Usually after 2 dates, huh?
But that's where, like what Bridget was saying, like when she had said that shit was very profound, because it's like it's still the matter of okay, I have 5 men or 5 women that are possibles. There's no way that I'm able to give myself to any one of these 5 to even know if this is something that could be legit. which is why then ultimately, making the wrong choice of who I want to be with.
It's a tough game. So yes, I might focus on a person, a few dates, and see how it's going. But I actually don't close the door to another dating opportunity. I'll say in the first month, I said I dated this one guy. We clicked. We had a good time, and I did focus on him because we was cool. It was just a feeling. He ended up not being the right guy, but I did focus on him.
While having some possibles in the back.
Yeah, but I didn't pursue them. Like I didn't go out on dates. Like I really liked this person.
I feel
So
you.
I had the options because we had only gone out a couple times, but by the third time I was like, okay. Because I'm not going to keep going out with a man multiple times and taking up their time. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like by the second date, you should kind of, I'm a see what he's talking about.
Sure.
So it's not an easy game out here. But I surely wouldn't waste anybody's time. But also I am still single until we have those conversations. That's where the conversation comes in. Okay, we're talking about, are we marriage minded? What are we looking for? There has to be an agreement or a conversation too. I think it should be spoken that we're not going to see other people. We're going to focus on each other. It's like you have to say these things now. You cannot assume. You have to ask, oh, let's say we gone on 3 dates. Are you still dating other people? Yes. Okay. I felt like we were vibing, and I'm looking. Are you interested on focusing on you and me? You actually have to ask this shit now. You have to ask people, are they married, y'all? You have to ask them, are they married?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yes, it's just different than even when I was younger. I got in relationships quicker when I was younger. You dated, you went out on the first date, you've been talking on the phone all night, all week. We together now because we spent all night on the phone for a week.
You hang up.
You hang up. No, you hang up. I'm tired. No, you sound tired. I ain't tired. No, I ain't
Wake up with the phone still on your face.
Yeah. Y'all, it's so I guess basically, and I guess even me, you just got to know what you want and what your standards are and stick to that. Sure. If it's 60 days, stick to that 60 days. If it's, you know what I mean? Just stand on it. It's really just that.
Consistency.
And please stop coming for me in the chat because I don't know the ring size. I just want to put that out there. You know what I mean? I'm going, as y'all saw me on my phone, because I text right now. I was like, I need to know your ring size before, they, yeah. So I'll put the question out there. I'll know within 24 hours. Okay. If you just so y'all good.
Okay. Right. I have a question. So you are physically dating Demetrius, correct?
Yeah.
And so Tamika was talking about how she goes on dates, but she still has people, in the background. Have you gotten to the point in your relationship that there's no one in the background?
I'm only dating one person.
Okay. So no possibilities in the background. You ain't on no dating websites. So technically speaking, you're kind of getting to that serious-ish point.
Yeah, I'm pretty serious right now. I'm pretty serious right now. I would say that I'm very serious right now. She got a key to my house.
So she got a key to your house, and I ain't got a key to your house, and I don't even know where you live. Okay, cool. There went my best friend status, y'all. There it went on national podcasting, right there. Just so we know, I done deleted and blocked his number right now as we speak.
My prayers have been answered.
Okay, one more question for you, Tamika, though. Do you think that you're finding good prospects in dating apps, or are you putting yourself in positions to be found by the man you were hoping to be your husband? As in, like, let's just say you want a man that has lots of money. Are you maybe going to a better city, those better restaurants, and are you going by yourself and being able to be approached, or are you still going on the date sites or the clubs? Like, you know what I mean? Where are you finding your prospects as a single woman?
First and foremost, I don't go to clubs. I am a
Stop the cap.
classy.
Stop the cap.
I don't go to clubs. What club am I going to, Tim? You don't know what I do.
I know
You don't
that.
know me, bro.
No.
No, okay. No. So I would say, as of like living here in Arizona, and you know, my as in going out, sometimes I'm a very social person, but like if I go to a happy hour, I have gone to happy hour by myself, but I'm going to go to like a wine bar. I'm going to go to something a little classier because I want to attract a certain type of man. And I have been approached in those places, but and ladies, you get approached when you're alone. When you're with your girlfriends, it's harder. So like, don't be afraid to do things alone. Like just even going out to like a nice restaurant and treating yourself. But I have been approached, just haven't been like a match. Sometimes there's an age thing. Older men, and I'm not into older men.
Oh, you missing out on them silver foxes.
I know.
What's considered older?
Huh?
You old.
No, what's the gap? I'm asking what the gap is.
Look, I'm 42. I'm probably the highest I would go is maybe like 47. 5 years older than me.
Whoa.
Bree's 6 years older than me.
Good for her. Nah. And I wasn't even that much younger. I just want somebody kind of like in my age, in their 40s. But I would date late 40s. But I've never been attracted to older men ever, even as a teenager. While you guys were being all fast, being 16 and having a 25-year-old boyfriend. Y'all, that's disgusting. I even knew that was not okay.
Excuse me. I had mommy daddy issues. Leave me alone, okay? Clearly my trauma was showing.
What are y'all talking to these grown men about? I'm in high school. Like
we weren't talking.
I mean,
we
it's
were laying
different
down, doing the mamba.
Right? It's different when you grown now, though. Like
I still don't like it though. Like, but I get approached way older. I don't even get approached first. Look, there was a guy that tried to talk to me on the plane. He was so nice. He was so sweet. Dude was telling me how beautiful I am. He liked me to take me out. Dude had to be, I don't care. He was 70. I don't care. Maybe 65 to 70. I don't care. I took his number because I'm a polite person. He wrote it on a piece of paper. But I was like, yeah, I can't do it. There was another guy, was my neighbor. I was 39 at the time. He was in his 60s. Get out of here.
Okay, see, that's a big gap.
He might be passing. That's a check.
You know, he was doing well for himself. Like but I didn't care. I didn't care.
So you're not dating. I feel you.
So you're not dating over 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years right now. That's where I'm at. Maybe he still has to, or if I have to let it go further and be more open-minded, he can't be out of his 40s. He cannot. So I'm not dating one in their 50s right now. I can't.
Well, what if you found like a man that was like 50 and everything else in your package, but he was 50?
Yes, that's different. Like I'm being open-minded, but if I had to stick to a number, and I don't like older men. I'm trying.
Okay,
because I'm getting older. I'm in denial that I'm getting older. You guys.
Facts.
I'm in denial.
While you out here lying.
I'm older than the person that I'm dating, but I still think I got that young gene in me. You know what I mean?
Don't believe that?
Yes, I believe
that. Yes. Lies. Girl, if you are on here, I'm not going to say your name so you don't have to, be out. Run, girl. He ain't young. He ain't a young cat.
Wow.
Well, Brandy said, she said dating younger men is rough. Older men are definitely where it's at. No, older men are still jacked up. They are still out here acting a damn fool. Men my age, they're acting a damn fool.
But that's the range you want, is your age.
Even younger, I'm saying it doesn't matter the age.
Gotcha.
People,
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It
depends on
don't
the
matter,
quality of the
younger or
person.
older.
Yeah, but I don't know why it bothers. I think it might be a childhood thing with me because I did not like it when I was a kid. I have never dated a man over 2 years older than me. And it's just something with it. So I wonder if there's just something with me, but I would definitely be like open minded and look at the quality of the person. And then, but you said dating apps. I'm not on dating apps anymore. And so, but actually, for real, putting myself in environments is a key thing of where I would want that caliber of men. But I would say I need to go out more by myself.
You just
And
joined the running club, didn't you?
Huh?
I said you just joined the running club, didn't you?
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I want a man that's.
Oh, you did?
I'm trying to get my health in order and my fit, so I did join a run group. It's called
Is it
You
a
said
tipping
put
town
yourself
like
where you
one?
want to be. It's Black Arizona. What is it? AZ? Yeah, Black Arizona
Black
Run.
Yeah, I seen it
Yeah,
on
so
TikTok or something.
So there's Black men there. So I need to be where they're at. So yeah, trying to put myself in spaces that I want, that reflects myself, working on my health, things I would like to go and do, concerts, dining. But I think I'm going to chill on the apps for a little bit and try to meet someone in person. And going to mixers where people want to date and you can meet them in person. They're doing a lot of mixers. My friend just went to one and they had it's not like you just go to the mixer and they just say, you guys mix. They have activities to make people engage. So doing more of that. I'm going to pay to do it, but you got to pay to play. So that's what I'm doing different this time around.
Cool. Good luck.
I go to bed too early to be at the club.
Stop the cap. Good luck.
I be in the club in my head though.
I'm not going nothing.
Do we have any more comments?
No, they're just some.
No, Monique was in them comments, y'all. She was in those comments. She
did say God will
read that one, Tim.
What you need, not what you want. So
that is true. So that's what I'm saying. You never know. I say all these things, and he could give me this guy in a 55-year-old package, and I'm like, okay, this is. I even have to come talk to God like, this is what we doing. Okay.
Absolutely.
I guess I got to be obedient. So obedience, you guys, single women. Obedience is a big one.
I was gonna ask the question because you was talking about the things that you was, and I know we gotta go soon, but is like you said, obedience, and what is the word now that we talk about it all the time?
Submission.
No, submission. Yep, submission. It wasn't no working on submission at all.
They didn't say not one word about it, did they?
Not one word about submission.
Actually, I did kind of talk about it. I said that while
she alluded to it, but she didn't say the actual word.
Exactly, because I said that I took time to get back with God and really be submissive to Him. And I feel like if I can't submit to Him, I'm not going to be able to submit to any man.
Right.
And a difference between submission is I call myself an alpha female. I'm very not just anybody can handle me. Demetrius understands that because he's like, my husband is a saint. A man without a backbone could never be my husband because sometimes I need to hear, I'm gonna need you to calm down. That's not what we're doing. And it has to come from a loving place, but it had to be a place of authority where it was like, okay, I don't want to fight with you. You know what I mean? And so I had to find the man that I was willing to submit to. I had to literally be willing to want to do it because I'm the leader. I'm the fight the system type of person. That's just always been my personality. So for me, it had to be a conscientious choice to be with a man that I was willing to submit to, especially the second time around. I didn't know anything about submission or being a good wife when I said I do when I was 14. I had no business being married.
Well, you guys, the whole submission thing, that's a whole different I feel like conversation.
If you're not ready to submit to nobody,
What I
mean,
don't know. Can I tell you something? No, I could. Because I'm a very soft and feminine woman. I'm a soft lady. I'm not trying to be a dude. I'm not a dude. I like a dominant male, but I like a dominant male. But that's just a whole different thing. But still, I feel like that's another topic. I really do.
That is a whole topic. That's a
That's
whole.
We went through a couple different topics. Submission would be one. And like I said before, older man, younger woman is.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Because obviously I have some triggers with that. I don't know why.
Girl, you was so triggered. I was waiting for you to jump off the screen.
Look, y'all as kids triggered me. All y'all dated older dudes. I was like, he is grown. Why are you dating him? We are children.
That's why we all got stuck with babies and you didn't. You got to go have your college degree and a real kid life. The rest of us, we did it out of order.
Hey, life is life. Let's just finish up the last. How many more comments we got, Tim?
2.
What, 2? Yeah, Tim, let's just look at those 2 comments and we can wrap it up. Because I know we all got stuff to do on this fine, chipper Sunday.
Where does God fit into your dating prep and dating life? May a woman act in both feminine and masculine energy with her spouse.
That's another good topic.
That's what prep.
That's what it's. This was a conversation. Yeah, this was a conversation we had before in Brandy. Yeah.
Okay, so Brandy, that's gonna be another topic on the show because that's a whole different thing.
Can of worms, just a whole
can of worms.
Let's put it like this: this conversation, Bridget hung up on me.
It did what? I'm sorry.
When we had this conversation, Bridget hung up on me.
Oh, you out here pissing people off, huh?
I didn't do nothing. I was cool, calm, and collective, and I heard a dial tone. So, yeah, so that one was an interesting one.
Let's put a pin in that topic, Brandy.
Put a pin in that topic.
Pin in that one.
And then what? And then Monique, Tim, what did she say?
A woman will submit if she trusts that he will be a great leader. We look at his life as an example of that.
100%. If one thing with us, if we trust you and feel protected, we will follow you off the cliff. You jumping, I'm jumping.
No, we'll be at the top holding the rope, be like, come on, baby, come back up.
Come back. But just an example, if he says we need to go off this cliff, he's never stirred me wrong before.
I might ask, did you ask Jesus about this one? If we jump in, I just need to know. Did you talk to Jesus?
So you agree with that wholeheartedly, Bridget?
What
they say, a woman will submit if she trusts that he will be a great leader.
Damn it. Yes. Okay. I knew you were going to do this to me. Yes. However, I will say this.
When you say you disregard everything.
Right. I need to add a disclaimer to that.
I'm just saying.
A man stops walking in his position of leadership, or we stop feeling protected, we will stand up and take that place before we allow our family to fall. That's what I will tell you about submission. So I will submit to a man as long as he is walking in what God calls him to do, and we are not walking in sin. Once he starts veering off that lane and he's walking in sin, no, I'm not going to follow you. I'm going to ask God what I should do in that position, and I will assume that position, even though I'm out of order, to protect me and my kids, because that's my position as a wife, is to protect me and my kids. That doesn't mean that, and that's the problem with submission. People think that you blindly submit to everything they do. No, if you know that that man is about to go commit murder, I, as the wife, should be the wisdom and be like, no, baby, that's not what we should be doing. I should be on my knees talking to Jesus and stopping it. I'm not going to follow you in that. Now, if this is another big topic, if he is hurting our children physically, sexually, things like that, oh no. In fact, you better run and the police better get to you before I do. There are some things that you do not follow your husband in because he is not in line with the word of God and he's not doing what he's supposed to do as a leader. And at that point, it is my responsibility to identify that and protect me and my children. Point, simple, period, the end.
Period.
And we're going to end on that note. Thank you, Bridget.
On period.
On period.
On period.
Standing on business.
I'm so happy that this is recorded so we can go back to this when needed. Her exact words. Good job. Thank you.
Well, you guys, thank you for taking time to come on and share your thoughts and opinion. It's been fun. Thank you to everybody in the chat. If you enjoyed this show, please like, share, and hit the notification button on YouTube. You can also listen and follow and rate the show on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I will put the links in the comment section. They're also in the About section. And if you're interested or you know anyone who wants to be a guest or have topics you want to discuss, please email me at bougiegirl. That is BOO. Excuse me, where's my banner at? BOOSCHGURL@gmail.com. And until next time, you guys, peace and blessings.
Deuces.